The end of the year is coming all too quickly. But you know what that really means? It's also the start of a brand new chapter, a fresh page in the story of your life. Isn't that something worth pausing for? A chance to press reset, to rethink, to recalibrate the direction of your life. I've always said that life responds to your philosophy, not your emotions, not your moods, not even your fleeting feelings, but the set of ideas, the principles, the truths that you decide to adopt and live by. Think about that for a moment. How often do we drift through days, weeks, even years, carrying the same habits, the same limiting thoughts, the same excuses, the very ones that keep us stuck? Now, imagine for a second, what if this year, this very year, you decided to rewrite that script? You decided to say, enough is enough. I'm going to live intentionally. I'm going to live purposefully. I'm going to become the person I admire. You see, every transformation, every breakthrough, every remarkable change begins with a decision to think differently, a decision to act deliberately, a decision to live boldly. Success, after all, is not something you chase like a shadow. It's something you attract by the person you choose to become. And here's the beautiful thing about this life. We get to become the author of our own story. Every chapter, every paragraph, every sentence we write, we get to decide if this is the year we grow stronger, more focused, more resilient, more determined to reach for what's possible. But here's the key. Wishing for change, hoping for change, does not bring change. It takes principles, a guide, and consistent action, repeated over and over, anchored in discipline. That's where these rules come in. They're not abstract, not vague, they're practical. Tools you can start using today to transform, not just this year, but your entire life. Are you ready to embrace the challenge? Not just to hear the rules, but to live them, to apply them. Because let me tell you, nothing works until you work it. Rule number 1. Take full responsibility for your life. This is where it all begins. Responsibility is the foundation of a life well lived. It's the starting point for every breakthrough, every transformation, every success story. Ask yourself, who's in charge of your life? Who's making the decisions? It's tempting, isn't it, to point fingers, to blame the economy, your upbringing, your boss, your circumstances, even luck. But here's the truth. Until you take full responsibility, nothing will change. Responsibility means recognizing that you and only you have the power to change your direction. It means owning your mistakes, your failures, even the things that weren't entirely your fault. Why? Because when you take responsibility, you take control. If someone else or something else is responsible for your situation, then they have the power, not you. But when you say, it's up to me, you regain the reins of your life. And that, my friends, is freedom. Real freedom. Years ago, I met a man struggling financially. He had excuses lined up like soldiers. His boss didn't like him. The economy was tough. He wasn't born into wealth. But I asked him a simple question. What are you doing about it? He looked at me puzzled. What do you mean? I said, what steps are you taking to improve your skills, to add value, to create opportunities for yourself? That conversation changed his life. He realized that waiting for someone else to fix his situation wasn't the answer. When you take responsibility, you shift from being a victim to being a creator. Instead of waiting for things to happen, you start making things happen. And here's the magic. Responsibility is empowering. When you embrace it, you stop wasting energy on blame and start investing it in solutions. Responsibility isn't always comfortable. It requires honesty, a hard look in the mirror, admitting where you've fallen short, where you've let yourself down. And yes, it's not easy, but it's necessary. Because when you take ownership of your life, you also take ownership of your potential. You start asking, what's possible for me? What can I achieve if I put my heart, mind, and effort into it? So here's the challenge. Starting today, refuse to make excuses. Refuse to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do? What's within my control? How can I take the next step forward? That's how change begins. Not with what others do, but with what you do. Remember this, you can't control everything, but you can always control how you respond. And your response determines the outcome. Take full responsibility, and you'll be amazed at how much power you truly have. Rule number 2, set clear goals and write them down. If responsibility is the foundation, then goals are the map. A map gives you direction. It helps you navigate challenges. It ensures you don't wander aimlessly through life. Without clear goals, you're like a ship without a sail, drifting, hoping, wishing, but life doesn't respond to hope. It responds to clarity and action. Ask yourself, what do you really want? Not what you think you can get, not what someone else wants for you, but what do you want? The clearer you are about your desires, the stronger your focus becomes. Clarity leads to power, because you can't hit a target you can't see. Years ago, I learned a simple truth. Writing your goals down is like planting a seed in the soil of your mind. When you write a goal, it transforms from a fleeting thought into a tangible commitment. It's no longer just an idea, it's a declaration. And here's what happens next. Your mind starts working on it. You begin to see opportunities, solutions, and resources that align with your goal. I remember a young man at a seminar, full of ambition, but lacking direction. I asked him, "Have you written down your goals?" He said, "No, I just keep them in my head." I challenged him, "Take a piece of paper and write down 5 goals you want to achieve in the next year." He hesitated, but then he did it. A year later, he came back to me, tears in his eyes. He had achieved 4 out of 5 goals. Why? Because the act of writing them down forced him to focus, to take action. But here's the key. Goals alone won't change your life. You need a plan. Break your goals down into smaller steps. What can you do today, this week, this month, to move closer to your target? Consistency beats intensity every time. Small, steady progress adds up to big results over time. Review your goals regularly. Keep them in front of you. Read them daily. Visualize them. Remind yourself why they matter. And don't be afraid to dream big. Set goals that excite you, challenge you, even scare you a little. Because the purpose of a goal isn't just to achieve it, it's to become the person who's capable of achieving it. When you set a goal, you're saying, "This is who I want to be. This is the life I want to live." So take some time today. Write down your goals. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Clarity creates momentum, and momentum transforms vision into reality. Rule number 3, develop discipline as your greatest ally. If goals are the map, then discipline is the engine that drives you forward. Without discipline, even the best plans, the clearest intentions, fall apart. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the ability to stick with the process, even when the excitement fades, when obstacles arise, or when progress feels slow. Some people think discipline is about restriction or deprivation, but that's not true. Discipline is about freedom, the freedom to live the life you truly want, rather than being enslaved by bad habits, fleeting emotions, or instant gratification. It's about saying, "I choose long-term rewards over short-term comfort." How often have you let your feelings dictate your actions? "I don't feel like working out today. I don't feel like doing that project." Feelings are unreliable, aren't they? They come and go, but discipline acts regardless. I remember a young athlete training to be an Olympic champion, waking up at 5 a.m., rain or shine. "How do you stay motivated?" I asked him. "Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going." Discipline is the habit of doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And here's the truth. Discipline is built, not born. It's a skill, cultivated one small decision at a time. Start with manageable habits. Focus on one area at a time. Commit consistently. Every promise you keep strengthens your discipline muscle. Every promise you break weakens it. Discipline also requires a strong why. Connect your actions to a purpose that matters. That way, when setbacks come, as they will, you recover quickly. Forgive yourself, learn, and get back on track. The goal is progress, not perfection. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's a gift, a pathway to living a life of purpose and achieving your dreams. Decide today. Make discipline your ally. Start small. Stay consistent. Watch how it transforms your life. Rule number 4. Surround yourself with the right people. Success doesn't happen in isolation. The people around you profoundly influence your life. They can lift you up, inspire you, challenge you, or they can pull you down, drain your energy, hold you back. Ask yourself, who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Because whether you realize it or not, you're becoming like them. Their attitudes, habits, and values rub off on you. If they're focused, driven, positive, you'll likely adopt those qualities. If they're negative, lazy, complacent, that influence creeps in too. Mr. Shoaff used to tell me, if you want to change your life, change your circle. At first, I didn't understand, but over time, I realized I was spending time with people comfortable being average, making excuses, not interested in growth. And guess what? That was holding me back. Now, this doesn't mean cutting ties with everyone, but it does mean being intentional about who gets your time and energy.
Surround yourself with the right people. Seek individuals who inspire you, challenge you to think bigger, and push you to do better. These are the people who will encourage you to grow rather than settle. I once worked with a young entrepreneur who struggled to take his business to the next level. His friends discouraged him, telling him his ideas were too risky. He was surrounded by small thinkers, and it was affecting his confidence. I encouraged him to find a new circle, mentors, peers, and other entrepreneurs who understood his vision and believed in his potential. Within a year, his business had grown exponentially. Why?
Because he surrounded himself with people who lifted him up instead of pulling him down. Look for mentors, people ahead of you who have achieved the success you aspire to. Find ambitious peers who are on the same journey. Seek out those who challenge your thinking and push you to see new perspectives. At the same time, protect yourself from toxic influences, those who constantly complain, criticize, or discourage you. This might be hard if they're longtime friends or even family, but remember, your environment shapes your destiny, and above all, be the kind of person others want to be around. Bring value, encouragement, and support. Relationships are a two-way street, and when you give your best, you attract the best. Master the art of consistency. Consistency may not sound glamorous, but it's the unsung hero of success. It's the small, repeated actions day after day that create extraordinary results. A single workout won't make you fit, and one healthy meal won't transform your body. But when you commit consistently over weeks, months, and years, that's where the magic happens. Success is less about intensity and more about showing up consistently. I remember a story about a man who wanted to chop down a massive oak tree. Each day he gave it 5 swings with his axe, just 5 swings. At first it seemed like nothing was happening, but day after day those swings added up, and eventually the great oak came crashing down. Not because of one powerful swing, but because of consistent effort. Consistency doesn't require perfection, it requires showing up, even when inconvenient or uncomfortable. Start small, focus on one habit, create a routine, track your progress, and celebrate the small wins. Over time, those small actions compound into extraordinary results. Learn to manage your time wisely. Time is life's most precious resource. Unlike money or skills, once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. How you manage your time determines the life you lead. Are you spending your time or investing it? Are you building the future you want, or letting it slip through your fingers? We all get the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't isn't more time, it's making better use of the time we have. Time management is not about being busy, it's about being productive. Schedule your priorities, not your schedule. Focus on the 2 or 3 tasks that will make the biggest difference, and give them your prime time, your energy and attention when you're at your best. Plan your day the night before. Use time blocks to focus on specific tasks, and learn to say no to anything that doesn't align with your goals. Protect your time as your most valuable asset. And remember, rest, relaxation, and renewal aren't luxuries, they're necessities. You cannot manage your time effectively if you're running on empty. Cultivate a positive attitude. Your attitude is one of your most powerful tools. It shapes the way you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately the quality of your life. While you can't control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond, and that response starts with your attitude. 2 people can face the same situation and have completely different outcomes based on their mindset. One sees obstacles as roadblocks, the other sees opportunities to learn and grow. Attitude determines your altitude. A positive attitude won't guarantee success, but a negative attitude almost always guarantees failure. Negativity blinds you to possibilities, drains your energy, and attracts more negativity. Positivity fuels resilience, creativity, and determination. Cultivating a positive attitude doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means focusing on solutions instead of problems, opportunities instead of limitations. Look for lessons in every challenge and the silver lining in every setback. Practice gratitude daily. It shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. Guard your mind against negativity by being mindful of the media you consume, the conversations you engage in, and the thoughts you entertain. Surround yourself with positive energy, and you'll amplify success for yourself and those around you. Commit to lifelong learning. If there's one constant in life, it's change. The world is always evolving, and those who thrive are the ones who keep learning. Committing to lifelong learning is like sharpening your axe. It ensures you're always ready to tackle challenges and seize opportunities. Learning doesn't stop when you leave school. Formal education can make you a living, but self-education can make you a fortune. What you learn after you think you know it all makes the biggest difference. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Improve your skills, expand your knowledge, and grow as a person. This makes you more valuable to your business, relationships, and future. Ask yourself, are you investing in your mind? Are you reading books, attending seminars, listening to podcasts, and seeking out mentors? The more you learn, the more you earn, not just in money, but in wisdom, opportunities, and fulfillment.
There was a man who had built a successful career but hit a plateau. He felt stuck and couldn't figure out why. I asked him, "What are you learning right now?" He paused and said, "I guess I haven't been learning much lately." That was the problem. He had stopped growing, and as a result, so had his success. Once he committed to reading a book a month, attending workshops, and learning new skills, his career took off again. Here's the beauty of learning: it compounds.
The knowledge you gain today builds on what you learned yesterday, and over time it creates exponential growth. But don't just learn for the sake of learning, apply what you learn. Knowledge without action is useless. To commit to lifelong learning, make it a daily habit. Don't just focus on professional skills, personal growth is equally important. Learn about health, emotional intelligence, relationships, and financial literacy. The more well-rounded your knowledge, the more equipped you'll be to handle life's challenges. Learn from others. Surround yourself with people who are smarter, wiser, or more experienced than you. Ask questions, listen intently, and be open to feedback. Everyone you meet knows something you don't. Lifelong learning also requires humility. It's about recognizing that you don't know it all, and being willing to start as a beginner. Don't let pride hold you back from exploring new areas or admitting what you don't know. Remember, the pace of change is faster than ever. New technologies, industries, and opportunities are emerging constantly. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. When you commit to growth, you position yourself to thrive in any environment. Decide today to become a lifelong learner. Make it a habit to grow your mind and skills every day. Because when you learn more, you become more. And when you become more, you can achieve more. Embrace change and adaptability. Life is a series of seasons. Just when you think you've figured things out, the winds shift, the landscape changes, and new challenges or opportunities arise. That's why adaptability is vital. The ability to embrace change, not resist it, can be the difference between growth and stagnation. How do you react when change comes knocking? Do you fight it, fear it, or try to avoid it? Or do you lean into it with curiosity and courage? Change is inevitable. Growth, on the other hand, is optional. Many resist change because it's uncomfortable, clinging to the familiar even when it no longer serves them. But the only constant in life is change. Resisting it only prolongs the struggle. When you accept and adapt to change, you position yourself to thrive. Change can be daunting. It takes you out of your comfort zone and into the unknown, but that's where growth happens. In those moments of uncertainty, you discover new strengths, new ideas, and new possibilities. Focus on what you can control, your attitude, mindset, and actions. Ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? What's the opportunity here? Flexibility is key. Life rarely goes according to plan, and that's okay. The ability to pivot and adjust without abandoning your goals keeps you moving forward. Think of a tree in a storm. The trees that survive aren't the rigid ones, they're the flexible ones that bend with the wind. To develop adaptability, embrace curiosity, cultivate resilience, and stay proactive. Don't wait for change to force your hand, anticipate it, keep an eye on trends, and prepare for what's ahead. Sometimes the changes we fear most lead to the greatest growth. What if that unexpected career shift is the path to your dream job? What if that difficult breakup is the doorway to a healthier relationship? What if that failure is the seed of your greatest success? Don't fear change, embrace it. See it as a teacher, a guide, and an opportunity to become more. When you adapt, you don't just survive, you thrive. Be grateful every day. Being grateful is the foundation of a fulfilled life. It's the lens through which we see the beauty, blessings, and opportunities that surround us. Yet too often we overlook it, focusing on what we don't have, or what isn't working. Gratitude shifts our focus, reminding us of what's good, what's right, and the reasons we have to be thankful. When was the last time you truly appreciated what you have? Not just the big things, but the small everyday blessings. The warmth of the sun, the kindness of a stranger, the simple joy of a good meal. Gratitude isn't about waiting for perfect conditions to be happy. It's about choosing joy in the present moment. I remember a story of a man facing health and business challenges, who each morning wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. At first it was hard, but over time his perspective shifted. He began to see the good in his life, and that attitude of gratitude gave him the strength to rebuild. Being grateful doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you act. Gratitude makes you more resilient, optimistic, and willing to give your best. The more you practice it, the more you find to be grateful for. Start small. Every morning or evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. Express your gratitude to others. Tell them, write a note, or simply say, I'm grateful for you. Gratitude strengthens relationships and creates a ripple effect of positivity. Gratitude doesn't ignore challenges or pretend everything is perfect. Life can be tough, and it's okay to acknowledge that. But even in dark times, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude turns what we have into enough, shifting our focus from scarcity to abundance. As you go through your day, notice the beauty, kindness, and progress around you. When stress or frustration arises, pause and ask, what can I be thankful for in this moment? Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a choice. Make it a daily habit. Live with gratitude, and you don't just transform your attitude, you transform your entire world. Take a moment to reflect. Imagine applying these principles, not for a day, a week, or a month, but for an entire year.
Imagine the transformation that would take place. These aren't just rules, they're tools. Knowledge alone isn't enough. Until you act, they're just words or ideas. Action is what makes the difference, and not occasional action, but consistent, intentional action. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who work, try, fail, and get up again. It comes to those willing to invest in themselves, push through discomfort, and stay the course when things get tough. So what will you do with this moment, this year, this life? Will you let it pass, or will you take these principles and make them your own? The choice is yours. The life you live is the result of the actions you take or don't take. You have everything you need to succeed. The power is within you. Decide to use it. Start today. Start now. And watch how your life transforms.